We're live.
Is it playing? It says waiting for random recess.
If we are live, sorry.
Oh, there it goes.
Okay.
No, it didn't play anything.
Okay. All right, y'all. Sorry. We had a little trailer play beforehand. Can y'all give us a comment?
Or we didn't have anything.
Or we didn't have anything play beforehand. Sorry, this is only our third live, but bear with us. All right, kick things off, Chris.
Hey, all right. I'm just buried in my phone. All right, let's get settled. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Random Recess. We're live here with you on this beautiful Monday evening, December the 16th. It's getting close to Christmas, which is insane. But yeah, we just wanted to hop on here, chat with you guys a little bit. It's been a while since we've hopped on a live, and we didn't have anything else better to do tonight. So why not? Hopefully we get to chat with some of you guys. But if this is your first time tuning in to anything Random Recess related, welcome. Happy to have you here. I'm Chris. This is my husband, Abed. And together we are Random Recess. We are travel YouTubers that like to bring you content from all over the spectrum. We mainly focus on theme parks, Las Vegas. We do cruising and so much more. We have a lot to talk about. We've gotten up to some shenanigans over the past few weeks, I would say,
Just a little bit,
or past few months since we've been with you guys live. So we have a lot to talk about. But yeah, if this is your first time with Random Recess, welcome. Hope you subscribe. Hope you like. If you like our content, awesome. If you don't, sorry. But yeah, I guess that's kind of the spiel. Abed, you have some. You have some other HR stuff to take care of.
All right, everybody. Sorry, I get the pleasure of doing all the HR. But first of all, let's not move past our outfits. Am I right?
I know. These outfits are pretty fire. We can talk about them in a second.
We'll talk about those.
They got to deserve their own spotlight. You know?
Okay. HR. Okay, yes, the intro video played. Just to talk about that real quick, if you are interested in helping support this channel, obviously watching our videos, subscribing, which is free, liking, commenting, all the standard YouTube stuff is so helpful, and we are so appreciative. But if you want some extra perks, we've got YouTube memberships called the Random Fandom. Not only do you get ad-free early access, you get exclusive member-only videos, and we've got a fun collection, including our big move when we move to this house, all on there. Stuff that you won't normally see on our main channel. You get custom emojis, you get community updates, and more. So we'd love to have you if you're interested. And that does it for the administrative.
All right, that's all the salesmanship for now. Apologies if I sound a little sick. I don't know if I'm fighting a cold or if it's just allergies, but I will say, so we just got back from Japan. I know, can you guys stop talking about Japan? If you've been following us, you know that we just got back from Japan. I will say, Ben, when we were over there, I didn't sneeze one time.
You did not.
I didn't have a stopped up nose. It was nice not having allergies. And then, of course, the minute we get back into Texas,
100%.
I can't breathe.
Well, we are surrounded by cedar trees.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway, we're making it through. Comment down below if you guys can relate. Allergy season is the worst kind of season. And for us here in Texas, it's always allergy season. So we're making it through, though. We're fighting it.
Definitely. All right. We've got 4 of y'all in here. Thank you for joining us on this random Monday. You never know when we're going to go live.
That's right. That's right. They say you guys should stick to some sort of schedule. No, we're just going to pick and choose what random day we want to hop on a live.
100%. So this is going to be pretty loose. We definitely want to hear from y'all. We'll give you updates on our next few weeks, what the schedule of release is going to be. And then also any questions you have about Japan, about any of our upcoming cruises and things that we have in place next year. We definitely want to talk about that, travel tips. We learned a lot. We were very humbled in Japan, y'all.
We were humbled. We are not international travelers by any means.
No.
Okay. But I feel like we got our legs a little bit, and we definitely kind of got the hang of it by the end. But it took a couple days. We definitely had our fair share of stumbles, but that's part of the fun of traveling, I think, especially to new places, is like figuring it all out. And it made me feel accomplished. Like we did figure it out. We didn't cry once, which was awesome.
We did huff and puff a few times.
we huffed and puffed.
But-
Yeah, there were no big blow-ups or anything. Like I
No.
feel like
No.
we did pretty good. That we didn't really fight or anything, which is
No, it was just really
honestly
difficult.
surprising. Sometimes we get frustrated with one another, but
I have to say, Chris and I have always wanted to be on Amazing Race. We have a lot of work to do before we can do the Amazing Race.
a lot, yeah.
But as what I call the Random Races historian, since I do, most of the filming, it was hard because I wanted to capture as many moments as I could. And Chris was on directions. But then if we hit an impasse, I needed to jump in and help. So we filmed a lot, by the way. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be a lot of content coming out. In fact, our first video, which is our travel day, we traveled United Polaris. We splurged and upgraded with points. We're spoiled for life. I don't think we can ever fly any other way. But anyway, that travel
We can't
video,
afford to fly.
Well,
we can't afford to fly that anyway. But
that's fair.
good lord.
But our travel day video is a bonus video, and it comes out on Wednesday. And then our regular schedule release, which is Saturdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's when all our regular videos will come out. We're going to start with Osaka after that. That'll be like the first big one. And y'all, we ate a lot.
We ate so much, and honestly, I'm surprised I didn't gain like 100 pounds. I don't want to get on a big diatribe about how crappy the food is here in the United States for you, but we ate so much rice, so many noodles, like noodles in every dish,
All the nudes.
fried stuff, tempura, all the, and I never felt gross. Maybe it was because we were walking 30,000 steps a day. But you know what? You guys ever get you sort of rationalize it, right? You bargain with yourself and you're like, I can eat whatever I want because I walked today. I walked in the mailbox today. I can have an ice cream. That was me in Japan.
Yeah, I won't share how many steps I've had today, but it is not 20,000.
It's not 20,000, but it's close.
No.
It's not
No.
even close.
If things go well, we'll show you all at the end. If everyone really is curious.
It's bad. But anyway, we deserve a little break, right? We're resting and recuperating. But let's not get away from what we were going to talk about, which is these shirts. So we brought back some souvenirs. We brought back a lot of souvenirs from Japan. We spent a lot of money because who knows when we're going to be back there. But one of our stops was Universal Studios Japan, and we had to visit the OG Super Nintendo World. And I got a Toad. Well, he's actually not Toad over in Japan. It's called Canopio, and it's a way bigger deal than he is here in the States. Like way bigger. Which justice for Toad over here. I love Toad. He's my favorite. But I got a Toad shirt, rocking the Mario beanie, and we'll see how long this stays on because it's hot. But I had to do it for the start of the vlog, for the live. And Abed, show off your stuff.
Of course, this is not a political statement. For the record,
Sure.
This here is not a political statement.
Yeah.
Okay?
Eat the rich, right? Abed's gonna bust that with
If YouTube is listening, if the NSA is listening, please. No, we're not doing that. Funny story about that. Chris and I went to dinner. Y'all know, if y'all follow us on our socials, I was Luigi for Halloween. I love Luigi. He's my guy. I wore this beanie to a restaurant. Again, not political. We've been in Japan, so we've kind of been out of it, which was lovely. Suddenly people are fist bumping me and like random strangers like, yeah, man. Yeah. I'm like,
you're like, oh yeah, you like Mario? You
Yeah.
like Mario Kart too?
No.
Like, no.
And
Yeah, you're
okay.
down for the corporate elites.
Okay.
Got it.
Well,
down
anyway.
with the corporate elites.
That's why it's important to stay up on current affairs.
Yeah, you know?
Because I had no idea.
Yeah. So is Luigi like forever ruined for you?
Never.
Or- okay.
Never.
All right.
No.
You just may have to like take a little break from rocking his gear in public.
100%.
You know,
100%.
you want to stay politically neutral out in public.
But we've got some folks in here. Let's say hi. Rebecca, hello.
Hey, Rebecca, how's it going?
Chris, hey guys. Yeah, the intro video played. It looked great. Thank you so much.
Good. Yeah. You know, we never know. We're always like stumbling our way through this.
Right. HR or IT, Rebecca? Yes. I guess it's kind of both because we have all this set up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's both.
You know what?
All the
It
administrative
comes with the
stuff.
territory. We hear it all the time. We read it on Reddit. We research it. Other content creators tell us. Some say, y'all need to stop asking for subscribers and for all this stuff. Some say, if you don't, it's not a call to action. So we kind of go back and forth. Hopefully we're not annoying with it, but it's kind of a necessary evil.
Yeah, I mean, we're
don't know.
desperate YouTubers. We're gonna still put the pitch out there. We're shameless,
Oh,
okay?
okay.
All right, we have no shame.
Here's the deal at the end of the day. If you're not going to promote yourself, who is going to?
That's right, a promoter.
Well, we can't afford that. We already established that. All right, let's see, Rebecca. I lived in Japan almost 15 years ago, and spoiler alert, you will never stop talking about Japan from now on.
Okay, that's good because we haven't. And I feel like, oh man, are we that like stereotypical traveler who goes to Japan and then is like, my life has been forever changed and I never want to live anywhere else? Because we have some friends that have traveled to Japan and they've come back and that's been the case. And now we know why. You just have to experience it. And I will never judge anyone for showing their love for Japan. We're going to as well, and like we're dying to go back already. It's so awesome.
It's like nowhere I've ever been before. Like it is just when they say it's the future, I believe it.
Yeah. Hopefully it's the future.
Right? All right, Chris. You guys seem pretty prepared when traveling. Great question here. What's something you forgot to pack and wish you had in Japan?
Oh, that is a great question. I'm glad we seem prepared because we definitely don't feel prepared.
I know.
Did you forget anything major?
I forgot a few things, but they're more like technical on the technical side, like some of my suction cups and some of the things I use like to film.
To film.
But that's more of like a vlogger problem than really, we actually did really well. Chris really prepared us. You had the great idea of putting the carry-on in the larger suitcase, and that was very helpful. We came back with 4 bags, but we left with 2, which was very convenient.
I guess just the habits of being an Eagle Scout and over preparing and bringing maybe medicine. I always feel like I don't bring enough medicine. Yeah. Maybe like ibuprofen or Tylenol or something because I'm like, I'll just get it over there, which we did. But
it's a great question. When you're going to like such a large city, they have so much.
Yeah. I guess that was kind of our fallback for Japan. Is like, well, if we forget it, we're in the biggest city in the world, so we'll find it over there.
Yeah.
And they had so many cool things in the hotel room that like definitely came in clutch that we didn't even think about. Like they had wrinkle release fabric spray, so we didn't have to bring any of that. They had like Febreze, which is always handy. And yeah, a bunch of really awesome amenities. Like, when we went on the plane, they gave us like a little amenity kit that came with like face care stuff. And yeah, so like we were able to fill in the gaps that way. But I think for the most part, we remembered everything. Like we are very paranoid about forgetting stuff, so we'll make like 10 lists and make sure to check them as we pack, which makes it hard to pack light. A lot of our friends that went to Japan were like, "Hey, don't pack a lot. You're gonna be lugging your suitcases everywhere." And we were like, "All right, we tried our best."
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
No, especially towards the end. So we started in Tokyo, but really just one night, the night we arrived. And then we did 3 days at Tokyo Disney. And then once we left there, we did 5 days in Osaka so that we could do day trips. And those were amazing days, y'all. And then we finished our last 2 days, last 48 hours in Tokyo. And so, yeah, we definitely, over the course of every single day, we bought more stuff and it was just getting heavier and heavier by the minute.
And it wasn't like, that seems like a lot. It wasn't enough time. I wish we had more time everywhere, but
100%. All right, Rebecca, Osaka food is the next level. Takoyaki and okonomiyaki are my favorite. I could always rationalize the snacks because I got my steps in every day.
See, Rebecca, you get it. Shout out to takoyaki and okonomiyaki. We definitely tried both of those. Next level, so good. I didn't think I was gonna like an octopus ball, but those were amazing. They were so good. And even though we may have like burned our mouth off eating the first one, which we already knew to let them cool down, but we like just couldn't wait. Those were so delicious, and the okonomiyaki was good. Spoiler alert: that the Osaka okonomiyaki, maybe this is a hot take, wasn't our favorite out of the okonomiyakis we tried. We took a day trip down to Hiroshima and tried Hiroshima style okonomiyaki as well, and I think we prefer that. But we're kind of noodle boys. We like the noodles, and the layering of it was a little bit different. but both were fantastic.
Look,
Can't
you
go
had
wrong.
you had me at nudes, and yeah, I would agree. I think Hiroshima style would be my go-to, but they were both fabulous. Great question from Tony. What's your favorite destination?
Ooh, all right. What's up, Tony? Shout out, Tony. Favorite destination. I mean, we did just go to Japan. That was amazing. I'm gonna fall back and just like sound like a broken record. I love Las Vegas. I mean, there's a reason we go to Vegas like every other month. We just love it, and there's always something new to do there. A new restaurant, a new cocktail bar. We love to gamble. We're shameless gamblers, so we do love to gamble. So and it's like it's a cheap flight. We normally get free hotel rooms, so it's not like an overly expensive trip to take, and it's a nice getaway. During the summer, like you can go hit up the pools, and it's just like a really fun time. But we're really excited about trying other places. Like now that we've gone abroad to Japan, we've really started to kind of think about maybe we want to take like one big international trip a year. And like,
Yeah.
where's 2025 going to take us? Because this was a huge trip. Japan was massive. And I think we definitely want to expand our horizons. So we want to try so many places. But what about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, those of you that are here that found us through Las Vegas, maybe you found us through cruising, maybe you watched one of our local Austin barbecue videos. However, you found us, you know that we kind of like bum around a lot of the same places. We go to Orlando a lot, California to Disneyland, things of that nature. But I would say my all-time favorite destination, yeah, I would say it's Las Vegas, just because we know it so well. There's a comfort there, and so when we go there, it's almost like a second home. Like we've been maybe 40 plus times. I mean, we go often. Y'all know that. But I want to broaden my horizon as well. For work, I went to Dublin. That was great. And yeah, next year I think we need another international recess. So we're open to suggestions, Tony, and everyone else. So please let us know.
Yeah, we can be like real stereotypical here and say and real cheesy, and we'll be like, our favorite destination is the next one, right?
Okay, I got to move this up. Rebecca says we keep going in and out of focus, or like it keeps jumping. This might help. We also talk with our hands, and I think that's causing some of the problem. Oh, yep. So let's not talk with our hands too much. Thank you, Rebecca. If y'all hear or see anything, let us know.
Ben's like, we'll stop talking.
And here I am. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. Thank you. Any shout outs? I'm not keeping my hand. Osaka style all the way. Hiroshima style feels messy.
Ooh. All right. All right.
Fair point.
Respect.
All right, Chris. How long until you book your cruise on the new Disney Treasure?
Oh, okay. So funny story, maybe not so funny story, kind of sad story about the Disney Treasure. We had it booked for January. We were gonna go, but then, as you know, Ben lost his job unfortunately back in May. Still looking, but you know, luckily we had some savings. He got a really good severance package from the company that we worked at. So we've been surviving, and all of this year's travel had been taken care of already. Bed's gonna mess with the focus.
Yeah, keep going.
And so luckily we had a lot of this paid off already. The Disney Treasure was one thing that we did not have paid off. And unfortunately, some sacrifices had to be made. We had to make some cuts just in the interest of being responsible adults. And so we decided to nix that from the agenda. That's not to say we won't go on it in the future. We definitely plan on going on the not the adventure. That's in Singapore. We definitely plan on going on the Treasure eventually. We definitely want to get back on it. We've only gone on one Disney cruise, which is kind of crazy. Been on the Wish. We want to do a lot more, but shout out to our friends Mouse Fives. Mouse Fives, Nick and Ashley were just on the Disney Treasure. They were on a preview sailing with a bunch of other of their creator friends. A lot of cool content was coming out of there, and I have to say, just got me way more hyped to go on it. Seeing all of the different cool themed bars that are on the Treasure. There's the Haunted Mansion Lounge. There's the Skipper Canteen Bar. They have a live Moana show. The Coco Dining Experience. There's just so much cool stuff on the Disney Treasure. So fingers crossed we get to go eventually. We will get to go eventually. It's just it wasn't in the cards for us right now, and that's okay. That's totally fine. So that's the update. We'll go eventually, just not now. Not as soon as we would have liked, but c'est la vie, you know.
Hopefully that helps. Again, thank you, Rebecca, for the call out. Yeah, I would agree. Disney treasures something. Unfortunately, like we really wanted to go, but um, you never know. You never know.
Never know. That's right.
I'll share. We're family here. I had 2 interviews today.
Oh, hey, what?
Yeah.
Send all the good vibes. Send all the good vibes.
Y'all, it must be like feast or famine because I was laid off in May. I had a couple interviews right after that, and then this massive dry spell where I just couldn't get anything. And I got pretty far in those interviews, and then they would ghost me for a while and then say, "We found someone else." Hey, that's life, right? We move on. But anyway, 2 interviews on the same day. I'm very excited, so we'll see what happens. Okay. Is Japan the first international trip you've taken together? So if we don't count cruising, because obviously when you cruise, you go to different ports, which for this question, I'm going to exclude it because it's in a bubble. I would say yes.
Yeah, it is. It's our first international trip together. I don't really count cruising only because you stop in those ports for like a day and it's not overnight and you get back on the ship and then you're on to the next thing. This was our first time flying out of the country, staying for an extended amount of time. And it was awesome.
Rebecca. Oh, okay. Well, Rebecca, you don't know this, but we have a story. Next time you're in Japan, 3 words. Kuro Neko Yamato. Shipping your luggage between cities is so much easier than trying to lug it on the subway and affordable.
It is. Should we get into that story?
Do it.
All right.
Because we didn't film it. This is an exclusive.
This is a little live exclusive. So
we had to stop filming.
So, like Abed said, we took 2 bags over, which turned into 4 bags, which totally fine, right? So in Osaka, which was our 5-night stay, we bought a ton of stuff, right? We went to Universal Studios Japan. That was after our 3-day Disney binge. We went to Kyoto, Hiroshima, and then of course all the cool stuff in Osaka. So we bought a lot of stuff between all of those trips. Our luggage ballooned to 4 bags, right? So we used the extra baggage space that we had to its full capacity. And our thought process was like, we don't want to hop on the Shinkansen, the bullet train, with 4 bags, lug it through, because we were going to have to stop at Shinjuku Station, that sounded like a nightmare, right? Like that's like the busiest train station in the world. And so we did. We thought about, why don't we just send it, right? We have a couple days. We send it the day before we go to Tokyo, and we're in Tokyo for a couple days, so we're going to get it. Like you get it the next day or even the day after that. So decided to pull the trigger on sending our luggage. We just had to look up where it was from where we were staying. We thought we found the location with it. So we were staying near Osaka Station, and we found it on the map. We go out to venture for it, to look for it with our bags, rolling them around. And we walk for I swear we were walking for 30 minutes.
It was bad.
And we were in
a long time.
sub-basements of sub-basements. And if you guys know Google Maps, it is very useful. And it was a lifesaver out there. What it doesn't do necessarily is tell you which floor of the complex, or if it's in a sub-basement, or what the location that you're looking for is at. So we must have passed this place or walked over it or under it 5 times, because we were like, it says it's here.
Easy.
Where is it at? Maybe it's on another floor. So we finally, and this is all with giant bags, by the way. So we eventually just gave up, and we're like, you know what? Let's just buckle down. Let's ask someone for help. When worst comes to worst, just ask for help, right? We found a really nice local, busted out our Google Translate, typed it in. And they were so helpful. They were like, oh yeah, it's right around the corner. Go upstairs, it's right around the corner. And so we finally found it. And when we found it, we were like, we literally walked past this 100 times. It was just this tiny little stall. So we found it. We got it. We got our luggage transferred. And yeah, it was clutch. Honestly, they showed up the very next day at our hotel in Tokyo. We didn't have to mess with anything on the train. And, now that we know where and how, what to look out for, we know the whole process. I think next time we go to Japan, we'll definitely take advantage, because it's so much easier than lugging your baggage through the train stations. And one thing that we saw on social media right before we left, but nobody prepares you for how many stairs are in Japan. There's so many stairs, and the subway is no exception. You're going up and down, up and down. And if you're having to take your luggage, carrying your luggage, and not all train stations have escalators. And they may have like one elevator that's reserved solely for handicapped or like accessible folks that need it. Otherwise, you're just lugging stuff up all the flights of stairs, and it can get a little much. But we survived, and we found it, and we got it shipped off, and all was well. So
Yeah,
we went on a little adventure that morning, and
definitely. And we didn't film it because after a while we knew, okay, we've got a problem and we needed both hands on deck. And if anyone knows, like, we couldn't find those instructions on Google. If they're there, I would love to know. But I actually don't think Google's really that helpful when it comes to that. Like, it was helpful in some ways, but obviously Google Translate. But Rebecca says, South Korea. I lived there too for 3 years, and it's also madness. It doesn't have an internationally known theme park, but there's such an incredible country there. It's like Japan, but with chaos.
ooh, that's hard to imagine.
Yeah, I would love to go. I know, obviously, that's Chris. That's where you were born. I think that would be cool to go.
That would be a cool trip. That would be like a homecoming for sure. I've always wanted to go back. I was born there. For those of you that don't know, I was adopted, so I came over here like when I was 6 months old, and I haven't been back. So now that I have the means to do that, it's definitely on the list. So South Korea, love Korean food, Korean fried chicken, bulgogi, bibimbap, all the good stuff, right?
But maybe not right now because of.
I mean, there's some stuff going on over there right now, so maybe we let that settle down. But yeah, South Korea is definitely on the list.
Tony loved Vegas. Was there in September. Can't wait to go back. Definitely will make it a yearly trip now. Universal or Disney? With that, Florida or California? With the good questions.
Oh, all right. Well, glad you liked Vegas. Tony, you have to tell us what your favorite resort is when you stayed there and where you want to stay. Might have some tips for you. But I guess let's start with the first question: Universal or Disney? I guess it is very location dependent. So I think if we're speaking Florida, we'll go Florida first. I'm picking. Oh, okay. Oh, it's so hard. All right, you know what? I will say, let's do it this way. Out of the Universals, Orlando is by far the better one. Florida is way better than Hollywood. I'm sorry, Hollywood. Hollywood does have the tram tour, which is iconic, and they're getting Fast and the Furious.
And we'll be there.
Fast and the Furious, the Hollywood Drift coaster, which is going to be freaking cool. I think it's going to be better than the Velocicoaster, honestly. But Orlando is just massive. You have Islands of Adventure. They're fixing to open Epic Universe next year. Spoiler alert. Foreshadowing of things to come. Epic Universe is opening, and I think that's just going to take Universal to the next level and like may even elevate it to the level of Disney World. Disney World in Florida, I'm always a sentimental fave, but I think for me, the better of the two Disneys is Disneyland. I just love Disneyland. Disneyland in California, it's the OG park, the OG castle. It's the only one that Walt actually like stepped foot in, right? So that one just like feels more nostalgic, and it's smaller and easier to get around. And the weather's better. The weather is so much better in California. So I got to go the OG. Disneyland is better in California. Universal is better in Florida. If you're widening the scope to the world, Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea blow every other Disney park out of the water that we've been to. Like Disney Sea is next level epic. It's incredible.
I would say Disney Sea would blow it out, but I'll just say this. For me, if we're just comparing Magic Kingdoms, so Magic Kingdom at Disney World and then Disneyland, Magic Kingdom Park, I don't know which one's which, but anyway, the two sort of quote identical. I'm going to go with Disneyland. But if I'm going to go overall experience, it's World 100% in Florida. They've got the space. The resorts are phenomenal. And they have like different valued resorts. So sometimes Chris and I have stayed at like Pop Century. Sometimes you just don't have the budget, even though that's kind of pricey too. But World is an experience. World is a vacation. if you just want Disney, a Disney park, go to Land because you can bop in and out a few days and you're done. But if you want the Disney experience, and I would say the same with Universal, you got to go to Florida.
Yeah, I will say like Disney World in Florida, when you're staying there and you stay on property, it's like full 24/7 immersion. Whereas California, you like exit the park and you're in Anaheim,
Yeah.
and there's like a Jack in the Box across the street, right?
And a Denny's.
So it kind of takes you out of it a little bit. But in Florida, they just have so much area and land that like you're always in Disney, no matter where you are.
Yeah. All right. Tony said, "Good luck, Chris. Thank you. Best vibes. I'm gonna take it. You never know what could happen." Rebecca, OMG, congrats. My business faltered this time last year, and finding decent work is hard. Yeah.
It's definitely hard.
It really is.
Shout out
really
to
is.
anyone that's looking for a job right now. It's a tough market.
I understand your pain. OMG, congrats on the interviews. Finding decent work is hard lately. I've been working a minimum wage job for the past year after my client pool drying up. It's been rough. Yeah, I certainly can understand that. Random Recess, I've sort of between looking for a job, obviously getting interviews when I can, doing that full time, and then Random Recess, really launching. We have a website, we have merch, we've got memberships, really just taking on more, knowing that, it's not a large enough business to support us financially, but we've had such growth since Icon of the Seas. Y'all, we were just over like 1,000 subscribers when we sold Icon back in January. And now we're at like 8,500 or so. But anyway, my point is we've had some amazing growth this year, but yeah, just kind of staying busy as best I can.
Yeah, it's not a glamorous lifestyle, this YouTubing, and you don't make nearly as much money as one would think.
No,
which is fine, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think it ever like dawned on us that this was going to be a long-term career path, but it would be cool if we could turn it into something like that. But right now, that's just not the case. So obviously, like we got to hold down jobs. And yeah, I mean, luckily we've been blessed. Like during this time, look, I was fortunately promoted at the job I'm at right now, so able to take on a little bit more of the financial burden for both of us, and that gives us a little bit more runway. And Abed's been crushing it with the channel. Like he's the editor, right? All the videos you see, he edits. He really has carried a lot of the brunt of the effort of getting this channel up and running, and has done just a absolutely phenomenal job. So you deserve all the kudos for the growth, man. It's been crazy, and you've definitely put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, and it's shown. So,
and a lot of all of those. Rebecca says best way to remember is that Kuroneko means black cat, so look for the kitty logo. I'm pretty sure Kuroneko will pick up from your hotel. They pick up from the hotel.
Yeah, all these tips. We did recognize the cat. That's what we actually finally looked for. They have like a black cat sign, and that was literally the only thing on the sign, which I think is what was throwing us off. But then, like, we finally made the connection when we saw like on Google. We're like, oh, there's a black cat. And like, oh, that sign has a cat on it. Yeah. So
I'm telling you. But no, this is good. Look, the first time you travel somewhere, you learn a lot. Our travel tips, we learned a lot from watching other YouTubers, like our friends, Ordinary Adventures. We shout them out on Wednesday's video because that coin purse,
clutch.
Thank you, Peter and Kitra. We bought some before we left, and they were not exaggerating. You are going to get so many different coins because a lot of the currency gets handed to you in coins, like the change. And so that was
like anything less than 1,000 yen is a coin, right?
Yeah.
So that was fun, busting out like all these coins and then sifting through them, and we're like, oh, this one says 100, this one says 500, but then the others didn't have like we couldn't tell right away. The people in Japan are so nice; they would literally just like look at your hand and be like, this one, this one, this one, this one, and they would do the math for you.
Yeah. And another tip, because if y'all have any questions for us, please put it into the comments. This is just a community where folks that love to travel get together, can talk about Vegas cruising, theme parks, now Japan, international travel. Not that we're perfect at that, but we can learn from each other. But I will say this, you'll see it in the videos, but I learned, because I didn't mean to be rude, but Chris noticed that I wasn't putting money into these, they're like little currency plates that are right by the register. So the idea is that you put your coins, you put your bills, your yen on this tray, and then they'll take the tray and then put it back. And that's just the custom. I'm just used to handing someone the money. I don't just leave things on the counter. I don't throw money at people. Like Chris and I have been cashiers before, so we've experienced everything. But anyway, that's your pro tip. If you didn't know that, make sure to put the money in the tray so you don't disrespect anyone.
And again, the Japanese people were so accommodating.
They were so
it's
nice.
obvious we're tourists. Like we were very standout, and they were so understanding. So
100%. Chris says, I can totally relate with Vegas being a favorite location. I live in Arizona and it's only an hour plane ride. So me and my partner go there a few times a year. Shout out Cosmo Terrace Balcony.
Yes. Oh my God. We love the Cosmopolitan. Shout out the Cosmo and that balcony. Best view in Vegas.
Yes.
It's amazing. You get the view of the fountains. Our dream would be to like go during F1 and get one of those rooms, but they're so expensive.
Well, the teams buy them out.
Yeah,
you can't,
because then like you could watch the race from the balcony. That would be so cool. But
I will say that y'all probably have seen our video. That was back in May. I can't believe.
Yeah,
actually, I was there right before layoff. Anyway, wounds, right? Anyway, that's one of our favorite videos. But yeah, I want to go back. We need to go back.
Yeah,
once the pools are open.
Cosmo is legit. I love the Cosmo.
Tony, we stayed in downtown at the Golden Nugget. We didn't mind downtown, but we went to the Strip most days. Favorite is hard to say since they're all great. I love the day drinking spots at New York, New York. Oh, we love New York.
Okay, New York, New York, underrated spot. It's like super chill, really affordable. But interested to hear your experience at Golden Nugget. So we love visiting Fremont Street and going, like we frequent the Golden Nugget. Circa is really amazing to go to. It's cheaper to gamble on Fremont Street, but we've never done a Fremont Street stay. And that's definitely on our list of Vegas things to vlog because we want to do a downtown stay. We've done all Strip stays and we've stayed at so many different resorts, but we really want to do like a stay at the Plaza, or maybe Circa or Golden Nugget or just one of those down on Fremont Street. Because Fremont Street, if you've never been to Vegas, is a different beast.
Technically, that is Las Vegas.
That is the old like downtown Strip, right? Until the Strip was created. And it's just like a lot more locals go there. It's cheaper. They block off that area, Fremont Street, to traffic. So you can just bop around to different hotels and bars. There's always like live music and street performers. They have the canopy that lights up. People are ziplining overhead. It's just a wild time. It's just a different energy. And it's like, I equate it to like, it's way less pretentious than the Strip. I feel like the Strip can be a little uppity sometimes.
It depends on what side of the Strip. So Chris and I have stayed at nearly every resort on the Strip, and that's our goal. Now, we did a lot of that before our channel, so you won't find every resort on our channel, but that means we have to go back and do Luxor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to.
We don't have to, but if the people want it, we have to. Excalibur is the one that we're the most nervous about. And Flamingo, there is actually a comment on there, so we will talk about that. But you know what? Let's just keep going because there's some really great comments I see that will trigger some conversation. Chris, speaking of Vegas, love your last video on Vanderpump Restaurants. Kudos for keeping in the emotional ending. Yeah, that one was hard because from the beginning, we filmed it on real time. So those of you that don't know, our latest video is essentially it's a bar crawl. We go to Vanderpump. We go to all three Vanderpump locations in Las Vegas. So Lisa Vanderpump has Vanderpump à Paris, Vanderpump Garden, and the brand new Pinkies at the Flamingo. And we had the bright idea, let's do it all in like 3 hours. And so from the beginning of the video, we call out, things are going to get messy, and you'll even see the bleeps and the mistakes like really start after one sip. I'm a lightweight now. But anyway, yeah, spoiler alert, we kept sort of this emotional ending. You know, I had a lot to drink. There's a reason why it was triggering, just because one of the drinks, if you order it, because of the liqueur that's in there, or the spirit, it's Work Dog. If you order that drink that has it, a portion of the proceeds goes to a local animal shelter. So it goes to a good cause while you're enjoying yourself. I guess a little less guilty for doing that. And then that triggered something that was very emotional to both of us. But thank you for that. We debated whether or not to put it in there, but I don't know. It felt more real.
Yeah, you know what? That's who we are. And like I said, he's a lightweight now that he's, 170 pounds lighter, and his stomach is like this big. But alcohol does not process the same way in his body as it used to, and we used to be able to drink about the same. I mean, I don't even drink as much. It's a byproduct of him not drinking that much. And like typically, we're just real kind of casual social drinkers with friends.
Yeah.
When we're by ourselves, we don't really do that. But we decided to do this bar crawl. It was fun. And yeah, Ben got a little tipsy. I got a little tipsy. It was fun. And for those of you that don't know, we're both Pisces. We're on either ends of the spectrum. So I'm in February. He's in March. We're sensitive souls, you guys. We're
Yes.
sensitive souls.
See, I was born on the cusp, so I have a little Aries in me.
We're sensitive, all right? And
Right.
and that's just who we are. So we decided to keep that in there.
All right, Tony. Paris was also a great themed spot. Loved the shops at the link and enjoyed lunch at MGM. At Italy at Park MGM. Yeah, we love Italy.
So Italy's cool. A lot of cool little spots within Italy. Park MGM. Go to Best Friend next time you go there by Roy Choi. Amazing, like LA Korean food. It's so good. And then he also has a food truck inside the Park MGM that's themed after the movie Chef. If you've ever seen Chef with Jon Favreau, where he like drives around the country and tries a bunch of different food spots, they have a food truck inside there. I don't know if you walked past it. That's also legit. Definitely try that out. But Park MGM is one of our favorite spots. We love that place.
Yeah, and it's completely smoke-free, the entire resort, not just the rooms.
Yeah.
Hey guys, love the theme. Cute. Thank you.
Yes.
Right?
I'm surprised I've lasted in this beanie
I
this
know,
long.
it's
Shout
hot.
out to me. Like it's hot.
It's
but
hot under these lights.
It's fine.
So Bam Bam also said, have you guys heard rumors of Flamingo getting a renovation? Okay, this is really good because it's kind of on theme. One of the things we wanted to talk about was our video. So great that it's come up a few times. So in talking about Vanderpump, just because that's our most recent video, her lounges are gorgeous. She started with Vanderpump Garden. Spoiler alert, I talk about this in the video. Go show it some love if you haven't seen it. But she started with Vanderpump Garden at Caesar's Palace. You could really tell that's a small little location. It's really just like a bar plus, and it's right there in the casino. Then Vanderpump Opry at Paris, and now Pinky's at the Flamingo. Each of these properties are gorgeous. The interior design, the menu, everything about it is aesthetically pleasing. It's so beautiful, but it sticks out like a sore thumb at the Flamingo.
Yeah, it really does. It's just like a diamond in the rough over there. If you've ever been to Vegas, the Flamingo is like an OG resort. It's been there forever, like since the mob ran Vegas.
Right.
And I mean,
Been rebuilt a few times.
Bugsy Siegel was like the manager or something there, like wild, right? Flamingo's been there a while. It's showing its age. The girl's showing her age. They definitely need to renovate it a little bit. It's like straight out of the 60s and 70s, the decor in there. And to put something like so brand spanking new and shiny and modern and awesome like Pinky's, it definitely sticks out, but in a good way. So we talk about this in our video. A similar thing happened at the Paris. And I don't think it was just due to Vanderpump Opry moving in there, but for a while, when we first started going to Vegas, Paris was just like, it was all right. It was well themed. It was a budget-friendly hotel. There wasn't a lot to it, though. And then they started really like investing in the hotel and putting in like big name restaurants, right? And then they did some room renovations, and now they even have a whole new tower of the hotel, which used to be Bally's. They created the part of the Horseshoe Resort is actually now the Versailles Tower for the Paris. So they have a brand new tower with a brand new set of rooms. They've brought in Martha Stewart. They've brought in Gordon Ramsay. Dominique Ansel just opened up a patisserie. They have Bobby Flay. They have Guy Fieri. They have so many like high-end restaurants now. It's really revitalized the Paris, I think. And the Paris has just become like an affordable spot you can stay with like really top-end fine dining and a nice pool. It's a perfect location on the strip. So I think hopefully Pinky's moving into the Flamingo will kind of kickstart that mindset of like, drawing in better things to the Flamingo because Lord knows they could use it. And we have heard some rumblings of the Flamingo wanting to renovate or like planning on renovating. I would be super pumped if they did that because
I agree.
how cool would it be to see an overhaul of like a classic Vegas resort, making it shiny and new? There's so much potential there, and the possibilities are endless with that place.
I mean, they're endless, but you're relying on Caesars Entertainment, who owns it. And that's the thing.
But Caesars owns Paris too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll see what they invest in. Peter says shipping luggage is just too scary to me. Like, what if it gets lost? I'm so stupidly paranoid. Partially why we do carry on over checked luggage. You know what, Peter? We were nervous too. You'll see this as a member. We filmed a little member video, and like that day, we're like, "Are we going to get our bags? Are we going to get our bags?" Spoiler alert: we got our bags, but we were nervous. And the thing is, we did have a air tag in one of the bags, so I mean, we knew they were on the move. But yeah, it's just that kind of pit in your stomach. Am I going to have clothes?
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
The thing that scared us the most with it was like we were reading online that sometimes it doesn't arrive the next day and it'll arrive like 2 days later. And then we're like, we're only in Tokyo for like 2.5 days. So we better get it the next day or the day after that, or like we're flying out without our luggage. So we definitely just took a risk. And then also like, where does it go in the hotel? It's funny, the hotel that we stayed in Shinjuku, we arrived to the hotel the next day and our luggage was just sitting in the lobby, which is a testament to how safe Japan is. They just like roped off the luggage. And we definitely weren't the only ones that delivered our luggage. There was a ton of other bags, but it arrived before we even got there in Tokyo, which was cool. So it worked for us that time. I was also a little scared about the reviews online. Some of the reviews weren't great. It was like, oh, like it's not super reliable, this or that. So I guess like try it at your own risk, or just like keep on taking it in a carry-on bag. That seemed to work, but
it worked for us though.
It worked. So. It did work for us, and it made the trip back to Tokyo like so much less stressful because we weren't having to haul our bags around.
Especially, and you know this, Peter, as you're filming. Like I needed to be free. I still had my backpack, so I still had, the things I needed. But not having to worry about other bag, even just a carry-on where I could just kind of be free, made the entire trip back to Tokyo from Osaka so great. But all right, Bam Bam says, keeping it real improves the overall authenticity of your content. It works. Well, thank you. Like I said, we were debating, we're like, it's personal. And the thing about YouTube is that the videos that we create, these are our vacations. These are our memories. They're souvenirs for us. And there are things we end up saying on camera. Sometimes we cut, it doesn't make the final cut because it just doesn't make sense for, I guess, quote, the story that we're trying to tell. But sometimes it just feels like, okay, we're sharing too much and we want to be guarded a little bit. Let's face it, so much of our lives are online. We've chosen to do this, but it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear that people seem to relate to that. I think anyone who's been through a situation like that can relate.
Yeah. You might as well just jump in feet first, be vulnerable, rip the Band-Aid off. It's all good. We're all family here.
Right? So Rebecca says, if it were a U.S. company, I'd agree, Peter, but companies in Japan work different level. Japanese delivery is accurate as their trains. You could set your clock, your watch.
Oh, the trains were on time. That is one thing that was like crazy to see, just how many trains run and how accurate they are. But yeah, I think like we used the luggage delivery system once. We'd use it again. I'd use it again. They were super professional. Our bags arrived. Like I said, they arrived before we did. Perfect condition. And they do this all the time. So,
No, they're pros at it. Chris says, what hotel would you not stay at again in Vegas? For me, it's the Link.
Oh.
I haven't.
Oh, okay. Oh, we have stayed at the Link, and it was pretty meh. Okay, so out of the ones that we've stayed at that, like, we've vlogged or, like, just in general?
Let's do in general, because we've stayed at pretty much some hotels aren't there anymore.
Okay, so that's an easy one. That's Luxor for me. I don't want to stay there again.
But we need to.
Listen, aside from the fact that it's clearly a haunted hotel, it's haunted. It's just it freaks me out. That hotel freaks me out. If you guys don't know, the inside of the hotel, the Luxor is the giant pyramid, and the giant, like the inside of the hotel is just a giant atrium. It might be like the largest atrium in the world or the United States. One of those fun facts, but it's huge. And so when you're on your floor, you're walking around the perimeter of this like giant atrium, and it like the railings are super low on the sides for some reason, and there have been instances, unfortunately, of like people going over and like whatever, and so like that's kind of why there's like bad juju, bad energy around that hotel. But not only that, like it desperately needs some work, and there's just not a lot to do inside there.
Not anymore.
And the elevators are scary. The elevators scare the hell out of me.
Yeah, the elevators go, I guess, what's the word?
Diagonally?
Diagonally?
Yeah.
Because it's a pyramid. And yeah, I agree.
And they're like they make the craziest noises. They're slow. It's a wild time staying at the Luxor. So stay at your own risk. It is super duper cheap for a reason.
100%. For me, I actually agree with you, Chris. It would be the Link. Now, we stayed at the Link. We also stayed at Imperial Palace, which is what the Link became once they had had a bit of a facelift. Now, I love the Link Promenade. The Link Promenade is fun. You can get your Baileys, frozen Baileys. You've got Sugar Rush, whatever that I Heart Sugar bar up top. Anyway, there's an In-N-Out. Obviously, the Link is fun to do, especially if you get the open bar. But yeah, for me, the room, it was just too dark and kind of sticky.
Pretty basic. I mean, man, back when it was Imperial Palace, though, do you remember? So we showed up. This was many moons ago, and when the Link was formerly Imperial Palace. That was back when on the casino floor they had like the celebrity impersonator dancers at all of the tables, which was wild to see. But the room had an N64 controller, and you had to pay for the N64 to use it. And the controller was like chained to the cabinet.
Yeah.
It was the wildest thing I've ever seen. And we showed up and we went into the room and we immediately were like, we can't stay here. Yeah, no. We got to go somewhere else.
We immediately went online. And I felt bad because we were there with some friends. We were there to actually watch the Super Bowl, not like the actual game, but they have these big parties in Vegas. Casa de Amor, I think, is the restaurant that runs it. So 5 hours of all you can eat and all you can drink, and you get to watch the game and their prizes and all this stuff. Anyway, so we were like, sorry, guys, we're going to leave the group. And honestly, it was probably my fault. Anyway, I immediately went
It was the beginning of your bougie era, you know?
It all starts somewhere. Era. They say what is it?
Your villain arc? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Rebecca, did you say 170 pounds? OMG, I watched the surgery video last night because I have another step in my road to surgery and was wondering how you are doing. This is insane. Super kudos. Well, thank you so much. Yes, so I am down 170 pounds since I started the journey. And Rebecca, since you're sharing and obviously like you're going through this, there's pre-op, there's op, and there's pre-op and post-op. Essentially, there's like pre-op approval. You got to wait, and then post-op. But anyway, yeah, so a total of 170 pounds. I was down about 65 pounds prior to surgery. And then I've lost all of that since February 20th, which was my surgery. I'm doing really well. It is a mental game because I can eat more now than I could, obviously, after day one of surgery. And so because I was so used to eating like 4 ounces, now that I can eat closer to 8 ounces, to be honest, like in a sitting, I feel sometimes guilty and I have to like remember to check myself. Yes, over time, my stomach is healed. I can eat more. But because of my surgery, I have malabsorption because I got something called the SATI, which is essentially the gastric sleeve plus part of the bypass. And that causes malabsorption. It was a decision to do that because I was type 2 diabetic. Happy to report my diabetes is still in remission. I went into remission really quick, which was great, but I'm doing great. Obviously, my diabetes is in remission. I feel great. I've got all this energy. But yeah, I think just taking it one day at a time and understanding that it's now on to me. I've got this amazing tool, but I have to focus on the diet and make sure that I'm eating the right things.
Yeah, he's done awesome. I'm definitely so proud and inspired every time I see him. And it's so crazy because I'll sit back. The other night I was in bed scrolling through old Instagram reels of ours, as you do, Who does that? Anyway, I went down a rabbit hole. I was watching some of our old reels for some reason, and like seeing you in those reels is like a different person. I didn't recognize him. I was like, that is so absolutely mind blowing. Like how your body is transformed and like who you've become. Like you're still the same person, but yeah, it's been awesome to see just like how the world has been a little bit like more open to you. You've like unlocked so many different levels of the world now that you're able to experience, which is so awesome. And you know what? We can share clothes now. So like all the cool shirts that he buys, I get to steal and wear, and vice versa.
Vice versa. I wore his shirt to my interview.
That's right. Like he was like, I need a shirt. And he's like, I don't have anything to wear. I was like, just wear one of mine. I have a bunch of button downs in the closet. He's like, oh, that's right. Yeah, I can wear your shirts.
Because I've donated, I think at this point, those of you that know the lawn clipping bags, those big, I don't know how many gallons, 65 gallon, something like that. I donated 10 of those bags, maybe more. And in fact, I already have like 2 more being prepped. 10 of those bags to Goodwill. So much clothes.
So many clothes.
And I have probably at least 2 more going by the end of the year.
Yeah, but he's doing awesome. I definitely understand kind of the guilt factor of him being like, it happened the other day. He ate like 3 chicken tenders or something. And like, let's be real, he was only able to really eat like one or half of one, like when this all started. And he was like, man, I'm able to eat so much more. Like, is it bad?
Am I broken?
Yeah, no. And I'm like, listen, you're healing. Your doctor said it was going to be okay.
Right.
The scale is still going down. Like he's continuing to lose weight every single week. That's not to say that like you get yourself into bad habits, but he's making a lot, like you're making better choices, which in turn is making me make better choices. So like by proxy, I'm also doing better at like eating healthier and stuff, which I appreciate. And it helps me keep me accountable. So listen, like your body's going to tell you what's right and what's wrong, and you just got to listen to it, and you're doing a good job. So keep up the good work, man.
And Rebecca, if you need anything, especially as you get closer to surgery, let me know, DM us. Would love to talk to you. And obviously, best of luck. It is not easy. Just remember to take everything one day at a time. And trust me, I'm talking about it. You see me eat and drink on these videos, like normalcy, you will come back to normalcy. It's going to be a while.
Normal life will return.
It will. It will. And then it shocks you and you're like freaked out. Anyway, let's see. Peter, just kind of replying to Rebecca, just saying trust issues freaks him out being, especially international travel and not getting the bags. We understand that, Peter, 100%.
I mean, trust issues with the airlines, Abed losing his bag.
Right. Now, I'm not going to blame United. So what happened was we got to LAX and thank you, Costco. Costco. So I bought my luggage from Costco. And apparently so did Patricia. I think that's her name. Anyway. And so Chris sees my little one. I have, the normal size, and then I have the carry-on bag. He sees it and he goes, that's yours. I said, it's not. I've already checked the tag. And then I got paranoid. I lifted up. I'm like, no, this isn't mine. And so we wait a little bit. And then in my gut, I'm like, you know what? Someone took my bag. We have a similar bag. Apparently this happens often. So United was great. Filled out the form. By the time we landed in Las Vegas, they already had the bag on a plane to Las Vegas. I got it, by the end of that night. So it worked out. Got all my stuff. They obviously came to do the bag swap, but
I mean, you got lucky that person lived in LA and like returned it the same day. Because if they had a connecting flight somewhere else, like, oh yikes! But yeah, shout out United. They did really well at returning 100%. Your bag.
Peter says, I'm not sure if this is still the case, but years ago I used to walk by the Flamingo all the time, and the smell coming out of the sewer. Yes, that has not changed.
Yes,
what was always gross. Honestly, when we were there for Pinky's, I was shocked that Pinky's is on the strip. There is a door to the restaurant, to the cocktail lounge on the strip, whereas the other two, they're kind of buried inside the hotels. But yeah, you can still smell that. Tony says, I definitely recommend doing downtown Vegas your next trip. A lot to do down there as well. What's your 3 favorite places to eat on the strip that were reasonably mid-priced and favorite high-end?
Oh, dang. Ooh. Tony's throwing the good questions out.
Well, I'm going to do favorite high-end. Okay, so my favorite high end is actually Emeril Lagasse's Delmonico Steakhouse. Now, Vegas has no shortage of steakhouses. You're going to find amazing steakhouses there if that's your thing. That is, we've not done Golden Steer or any of those other ones, right? That might change once we finally can get a reservation. But anyway, for me, that would be my favorite high end. And then I would say my favorite mid priced would be, I think it's at Resorts World, the food court, Street Eats. That's not right.
No, Street Eats is on the Carnival ships. I know what you're talking about. It's the
Asian food
the
hall.
Asian food hall. Yeah.
We'll have to Google it real quick. But at Resorts World, they have this really great food hall, and they've got some amazing food there. That's where I would go. Honestly, it is pretty reasonably priced. I use quotes mid price because nothing in Vegas is cheap anymore. But that's me.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. For me, my favorite high end, and I don't know if we'll ever do this again, but my favorite high end restaurant experience was so it's the letter E with an accent mark, by Jose Andres, and it's still in Vegas. It's in the Cosmopolitan, and you have to like RSVP to the restaurant via like a weird secret email address that they don't give out that I had to find off a Reddit thread. And so I sent them an email and was like, hey, do you have room for 3 people on this date? And this was like 3 months in advance. I got in. They send you through the mail golden tickets, like physical tickets, like it's Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, that you have to take to the restaurant inside the Cosmopolitan. And then they take you from there into the back of the restaurant through like the secret door, and there's another restaurant that you eat at. And it was super awesome because it was themed like a library, and it was like a surrealistic library, which is supposed to represent like his brain, like all of his thoughts as a chef. And you sit around a little counter, and it's like almost like an omakase experience, but just like molecular gastronomy food. I swear it was like no less than 20 courses.
At least.
They prepare all the food in front of you. They play like I said, about 8 or 9 people at the counter. Some of the craziest, wackiest food I've ever eaten in my entire life. This was way back before we had a channel. Otherwise, we definitely would have vlogged it. That was cool. Like I said, I don't know if I would do it again, just because it was one of those things that you just have to do once. It's not necessarily something that you're going to go to and be like, I'm really satiated and full afterwards. Just because like all the portions they're like 1 bite each. But it was
a lot of food.
It was cool. It was really awesome. Definitely like a one of a kind experience. I would say for me, my favorite mid price is the Peppermill. I freaking love the Peppermill. It's like, so it's north end of the strip. It's a standalone restaurant. It's been there forever. Super kitschy, like really neon inside. They have a cool fireside lounge you can sit at and have cocktails. The menu is great. The portion sizes are absolutely out of this world, like giant. Super cool spot to go to late at night. Like after you've had a couple drinks, go to the Peppermill, get the Cobb salad. It's absolutely phenomenal. I know it's like,
Okay.
oh, what about a salad? But
okay, Chris.
the salad's good, and then the nachos are good.
Thank you.
The nachos is what it's called. It's so good. They had to name it 3 times. But Peppermill, and then I think for like more traditional on the strip, Best Friend at Park MGM is good, and it's pretty reasonably priced. You mentioned Italy. Italy is always a good spot. Where else? There's so many good places.
Honestly, those of you that do go there often or planning a trip, a lot of the hotels, a lot of the resorts are moving towards food halls. Some of them have food courts. Chris and I debate all the time. Sometimes it's not a food court. Sometimes it's not a food hall. In fact, Planet Hollywood, we want to go. I think it opens in a few weeks, months, sometime next year.
Yeah.
Is building this massive one in the Miracle Mile shops, a brand new food hall. If someone knows, please put it in the chat. But it is so convenient now. And when we stay at Fontainebleau, sorry, I was corrected. Fontainebleau, anyway, it doesn't matter. Just being able to order off the app, go pick up your food. Usually there's at least one place that does breakfast, and it's, quote, reasonable. for Vegas. Again, there's nothing cheap about Vegas anymore. They're really taking advantage of all the tourists, but food halls are great just for a quick bite. Let's see. Neebles 21. Any big trips planned already booked for 2025? Merry Christmas, Random Recess.
Hey.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well. Happy holidays. It's crazy to be saying that. We haven't even decorated for Christmas yet. I feel like such a bum right now, but we'll throw up our tree later. Trips that are already planned. We do have some trips that are already planned for 2025. So should we tell how many should we say?
We're kind of an open book. So
all right, we'll just lay it out there for the ones that we have planned already. So
yeah, they could change. You never know.
End of March, beginning of April. It's our friend's 40th birthday. So our high school friends, they're turning 40. We're also turning 40. So we're kind of we're okay. You are.
No,
mentally you're not, right?
Right.
So we're sort of co-opting the chance to all celebrate together. And we're going on Harmony of the Seas out of Galveston. It's our first time on Harmony of the Seas, Royal Caribbean, Oasis class ship. Super excited. We'll get to try sabor because I think they have a sabor on that ship, and that's the Mexican restaurant that's like getting phased out. So we'll get to eat at it before it goes away. Right. So Harmony of the Seas, we're doing the 7-night sailing out of Galveston at the end of the month in March, which will be really, really fun. Then in May, we're traveling to Orlando for the grand opening of Epic Universe. So we'll be there May the 22nd, opening day of Epic Universe. I don't even know what to expect. I think it's going to be absolutely bonkers and crazy, and I'm here for it. It's going to be so exciting. This may be the only time we get to witness the opening of like a massive standalone theme park in our lifetime, right? Like the last one that opened was what? Universal Islands of Adventure, or like, do you even count that one? I don't know, but it's been forever. And this is not just one land. It's not just an expansion. It is an entire new park. It's got Super Nintendo World, Dark Universe. It's got Centennial Park, which has like the really awesome dueling coaster, Starfall Racers. It's got How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk. It's got Harry Potter and the Ministry of Magic. Like crazy. This is going to be absolutely nuts. We're so excited. We don't know how we're going to vlog it because we're going to be running around like chickens with our heads cut off, trying to like figure out what to do. But it's going to be exciting. We can't wait.
I'm tempted not to vlog it
and just go like experience and live in it. So we have Epic Universe. And then we also have a cruise booked later on this year to visit the opening of Carnival's Private Island, Celebration Key. So they're finally getting into the Private Island game. We're super excited to see what Carnival has to offer. It could be a hit, it could be a bust, who knows, but we want to see it. I feel like everyone's trying to get into this Private Island game. Coco K really like set the standard.
It really did.
And everyone's like trying to meet that standard now. Meanwhile, Royal's on to the next one with Perfect Day Mexico and the Nassau Beach Clubs and all those awesome new things that they have in store. But yeah, we're excited. Later this summer, that'll be our platinum cruise on Carnival. We'll finally get status with them. And
it won't mean anything.
It won't mean anything because but maybe we can use it to transfer over to like Virgin or something because they status match. But yeah, we're excited about that, and we may have a few others in the pipeline. But all of those are booked and paid for already.
Yeah, we have some others, but yeah, we'll see what happens with those. But yeah, 2025, we're still gonna do Vegas. We've got cruising. We will have another international recess, so we're really excited to bring you all that. Sir Long Haug, apologies if I mispronounce it. Hey there. Love your content, and y'all are as cute as F. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's so nice.
Little boost.
That's what we need to hear on a Monday.
Where's the Tokyo video? Okay, great question. So Tokyo video is actually available now. If you join our membership, you'll have early access, and it's ad-free. And it will premiere on Wednesday. It's a bonus video. Usually our videos are on Saturdays, and we post once a week. But this week, we really wanted to kick off this Japan series with like 2 videos. So we're doing a Wednesday release of our travel day. Y'all, it is the first time that we've ever flown in something this nice. Obviously, first time flying internationally together. And then it's also the first time we attempted to vlog our travel day. And this was a big one. So let us know in the comments when you watch it. We did the best that we could. We were very nervous, but I think it came out all right.
I think it came out well, and yeah, we're just excited to get these videos out so you guys can watch it. I know it's been a long time coming. We've been talking about it for a while. So yeah, Travel Day comes out on Wednesday, and it's our travel day and our first night in Tokyo, which we do some cool stuff in Tokyo on the first night. And then Saturday will be our second Japan video. So lots of Japan content coming your way. Not only our travels around the country, we have Tokyo Disneyland, we have Tokyo Disney Sea, we have Fantasy Springs that we visited inside Tokyo Disney Sea, Universal Studios Japan. So there's some theme park stuff thrown in there as well.
Yeah. Can y'all tell we like that stuff? And we're starting with, like I said, Travel Day, then Osaka. But yeah, like Chris said, there's a lot. We filmed 9. Altogether, we've got 9 videos coming out. So they're coming. They're coming. You're looking good. Thank you so much. Abed is killing it. My favorite is seeing how much more confidence he has in the videos. It's noticeable. Oh, well, thank you, Peter. I really appreciate that. I think, yeah, I mean, obviously, when you feel better, you are more comfortable being on camera. And certainly, our channel's only 3 years old as well. So really being around, obviously, you guys and other content creators, like we've learned so much, and you really push yourself. You want to be better and you want to grow, and we've certainly grown. That's why it's hard to watch our older vlogs, but
you've actually shrunk.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
you know what I mean. But
and
thank you.
Also, shout out to Peter. He's on his own weight loss journey as well, and he's absolutely killing the game. The dude is like disappearing in front of our eyes. It's so crazy, like watching your Japan stuff, and then you intercut with your promotional ads, and like, homie, you look like a different person too. Like watching of course we binged your previous Tokyo stuff, and now comparing it to your Tokyo trip this year, your Japan trip, it's like night and day, man. You guys are crushing it over there. And also, like, shameless plug to OA, Ordinary Adventures. If you don't already follow them, like, why aren't you? But they also went to Japan. We missed them by like a week.
Not that much.
But they did some really cool stuff over there too, and they're in the midst of their Japan vlogs as well. I know they filmed a ton of stuff, so go check them out if you haven't already. But yeah,
and it's so funny, Peter. Chris and I were talking about this. We were watching. Y'all have a Disney Sea video out now, so we were watching it, and we were like, we had the exact same day.
Yeah, I was like, you guys talk about the like hour-long line you waited in for the churro, and we just busted out laughing because we were like, yeah, we felt that to our core. Like that day, there's so much waiting for stuff, so much waiting for food in that park.
All right, my boy's a hot rod. Thank you so much. Mouse Vibes, hi guys.
Hey, what up?
Y'all are killing it. No, you're killing it.
Yeah, and okay, can we talk about the trailer that you guys just dropped about your the Poly video? Shout out to Nick and Ash, Mouse Vibes. Again, shameless plug for all of our friends. If you're not following them, go follow them. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, they're on all the socials. They just did an amazing trip to Walt Disney World in Orlando. They got to sail the Disney Treasure. We had FOMO to the max, like seeing all of your reels pop out. It looked like so much fun and so awesome. That was your first Disney cruise. Like, way to ruin Disney cruises for you guys. Like, the bar is set at the very highest level now. But awesome that you guys got to go on that and experience it, and can't wait to see the videos coming out of there. And you also got to go check out the DVC tower at Poly. I think that video drops tomorrow. The trailer was awesome. So super psyched to see that. But yeah, Ben and I were just sitting here like the week after we got back from Japan. We're sitting there, we're scrolling our phones like, did Nick and Ashley post anything new about the treasure? Like, I want to see. We were ready to see it, but all this cool content's coming out about the newest cruise ship. So, you know, the Haunted Mansion bar by itself is a reason to go, and it definitely looked like it lived up to the hype.
Yeah, no, and that's what sucks, that we had to cancel our cruise, because that's like the one thing I don't really. Okay, I'm gonna upset some people. I'm not a Jungle Cruise fan.
Wow,
the theming would be fine, but that ride
canceled.
Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Here's my reasoning why Jungle Cruise is a, quote, according to Abed, terrible ride. That's my review.
Wow, terrible ride.
Here's a few things. It's skipper dependent, number one. Number two, you can't see anything because your back is turned to everything. And depending on what side you're on, you can't see what's going on. And most of the animatronics are broken and they're rusty and crusty and nothing moves. Now, here's number 3. And I think this is where I'll win everybody back. Right now, everyone's mad. The pitchforks are out. Okay. I'm going to win you back. My rationale, number 3, is after you've gone on Kilimanjaro safaris, that is the, I don't know if I'm saying this right, personification. That's the embodiment of the dream of the Jungle Cruise come to life. These are real animals. And it just can't be topped. I'm sorry. Like, once I experienced that, I couldn't go on Jungle Cruise. I can't.
Man. You know, maybe they just need to merge the two and have like funny skippers on Kilimanjaro safaris.
That would be awesome. I would be totally in. Anyway, not to offend anyone, if that's your favorite ride.
Yeah, but what part of Kilimanjaro safaris can you see the backside of water? Okay. That's what I thought.
No.
That's what I thought.
Right. Fair enough.
All right.
The combination of a bed, Rebecca says, the combination of a bed, Peter, Adrian at TPX, Theme Park Express, quietly drop pounds and grow into their confidence has been really helpful with keeping my focus. Yeah, shout out to Adrian as well. And there's a question on here as well, whether or not, do you support Peter and his Ozempic journey? We support everyone on their journey. The thing is, there were a lot of comments, even towards me, doing the surgery, even from family members, that, quote, it's a shortcut. You're taking, again, quote, the easy way out. First of all, removing 80% of your stomach. There's nothing easy about that. And it's forever. But these are just tools. Ozempic is a tool. My surgery was necessary due to some, to my diabetes, which I mentioned. These are just tools at the end of the day. And if you have these gifts, if you can afford it, if your insurance will cover it, that really help you, you should do it. I was on Ozempic for like 3 years. As a type 2 diabetic, I needed Ozempic for that purpose. But I can assure you, I did not lose weight. And I'll tell you why. I did not lose weight because I was not mentally ready to lose weight. I ate what I wanted. I used the medicine to help regulate my diabetes, and then it stopped working for me. That was my choice. I was not taking care of myself. So the drug is a tool first and foremost, because you can still eat the donut. Yeah. You can still eat those things. You may not have the cravings, but as an emotional eater, I could eat them. So it's not a get out of jail free. It's not a skip. And you still have to put in the work, I guess, is my point.
Yeah, you definitely do. First and foremost, also, thank you for bringing up Theme Park Express, Adrian. He just posted, actually, on his channel, a 1-year update, which is like crazy to think that he started his weight loss journey a year ago. Yeah. He's down like 85 pounds or something crazy. He looks unrecognizable. He's killing it over there. But like Abed said, and I think Peter's actually on Zepbound and not Ozempic, but that doesn't matter. They're like GLP-1s, right? It's all kind of the same. But yeah. Why wouldn't we support him? Like, however you are choosing to go on your own weight loss journey, whether it's assisted by medication or it's just through pure diet and exercise, we support everyone. And I'm going to get on my soapbox a little bit here. Hearing folks like give other people a hard time about what they choose to do with their own bodies, as far as taking medication to help them lose weight, or whatever the case may be. Like,
I'm not saying Joe's doing that, but just in general.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely not. I'm just saying, like, in general. Number one, like, why wouldn't you support someone that wants to better their own lives and become a better version of themselves and a more healthy version of themselves? And number two, these drugs were brought about for that sole reason. Like, they're almost miracle drugs in the fact that, like,
they really are.
They've unlocked the key to helping people lose weight. I will always support that. Like, do it in a healthy manner, and like, it's really helped so many people turn their lives around. And
but you got to still do the work.
You've got to do the work. And like Abed said, it's not some miracle shot you take and you just drop the pounds.
No,
it does help you, but you have to make the conscious decisions not to put the food in your mouth. You have to make the conscious decisions to go out and get exercise every day. You have to make the conscious decisions to stay in a good, healthy relationship with your doctor and medical team and have like open communication with them. Like, it's not easy. And I've seen firsthand, sitting next to Abed, the work that he's put in. And for anybody, if anybody were to come up and say like, oh, you took the easy way out, I will be the first person to, I'll get him.
I appreciate
okay,
that.
I'll get him, because it was insanely hard work. And you know, I will just say, like, even the pre-op stuff that you had to do
It's very hard.
of like, all right, I got to go on a liquid diet for 4 weeks before surgery, and then 6 weeks after surgery, I have to be on liquids or soft foods or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, he was just drinking like his dinner, lunch, and breakfast, and like protein shakes and like all this stuff, and I was just like, how?
Luckily, it was
Couldn't be me.
Luckily, it was after a cruise. But yeah, you know, it's a good conversation because I think it comes up a lot. I've had family members that have had the weight loss surgery as well, and they've made comments that they've heard or they've shared comments that they've heard. And yeah, at the end of the day, no one is going to take care of you but you. And
Yep.
if this is a tool that helps you, I say go for it.
Yeah, and if any of you guys are on your own weight loss journey and you do have questions, DM us. You know, we're open books. Abed is always happy to help out anyone that he can with his own experience
Yeah.
and his own journey, and answer any questions. I am as well. And yeah, if we can help you out in any way or answer any questions for you, definitely we're more than happy to. But obviously, consult your doctors.
Yeah,
right?
we are
If
not medical
We're not
experts.
medical experts, but
And we said this in the weight loss video, the surgery video, where like at the end of the day, we're not advocating for one way or the other. Do what's best for you, because at the end of the day, that's all you have. You have yourself, and you know. Anyway, we'll move on from it. But yeah, like do what's best for you.
all right, soapbox removed. We're getting off.
Stephanie Martin, thank you so much. You're one of our newest members.
Hey, Stephanie.
Y'all are amazing. Stoked I caught your live.
Oh,
Well,
well, thank you for being
Thank
here.
you
We're
for
stoked
being
to
here.
have you.
we
Thank you
really
so much.
appreciate it.
And we love all the lovely comments you've left us. They're so nice.
Yes. It's hard sometimes, you know, you post a video and then you're like, do people like it? We like it. You know, it's just hard to tell. So I know it seems so shallow and vain, but like it's good to get feedback sometimes. You know?
It's good to read nice things about yourself.
I know. Thank you. Because the internet is fueled with the opposite as well.
It's so true.
We have to balance that for each other. We've
Yeah.
got to provide the equalization. All right. Sir Long Haug says, you guys should come to Calgary Stampede. Y'all would love it. I don't know what that is, but we'll have to look that up.
It's Canada, Calgary.
Oh, okay, Calgary. Well, we'll have to look that up. I have a lot of family in Toronto, so I've been to Canada many a times. Back when it was Paramount's Wonderland, I've been there. That's beautiful. But yeah, I don't think I've ever been to Calgary. I'll have to check that out. Okay, that was the question. Heck yeah, 1985. Well, for me, 86, right?
No.
Okay.
85.
I'm gonna try.
85.
I'm gonna try.
You gotta try.
I'm gonna try it. Chris, how do you feel about the smaller royal ships? You took the Ensenada. I love Royal Caribbean and have only been on that class of ship, but loved it. You know, obviously we posted our video is bigger, better. Hopefully people weren't too offended with that thumbnail, but it was a question that was really important because especially with Royal, we've only sailed the largest cruise ship in the world and the second largest. So Icon and Utopia.
Go big or go home.
Right? When it comes to Royal, now our experience with Carnival is varied. We've done like 7 different class ships with Carnival. Granted, none of them come close to Oasis or Icon class yet, and probably for a while.
Probably
But anyway,
forever, yeah.
but anyway, our point was, and to Chris's point, yeah, like it is a different experience. Personally, because most of our cruising has been, like I said, like Chris said, we're going to be platinum with Carnival on our next cruise. Most of our cruising experience is with Carnival and on smaller ships. So at least for me, I'll say, yeah, look at that, winner. For me, I'll say I do actually prefer smaller ships because they're more intimate. You get the ocean right there. It's closer to you. And the ratio of like passenger and crew is just better, so that I just feel like the level of service is at a level it should be because that ratio is just more appropriate.
Yeah, I will agree with that. Navigator was our first time sailing on a smaller ship in the Royal class, or the Royal Fleet. It was awesome because we were on there with our friends, and that made it an amazing cruise. But just like looking objectively at the ship itself, it is an older ship. I think it's over 20-something years old. You could tell that it was aging in some spots, but really well maintained. I was really honestly really surprised and impressed with how well Royal had maintained it. I know it had just gone through what do they call it? Amplification to add some stuff. But it was really fun. It was nice. And I felt like it was like kind of the perfect size ship for us. It was one of our biggest gripes about the larger Oasis class ships, less so on Icon, interestingly enough, but like on the Oasis class ships is sometimes you feel a little bit disconnected from the ocean because you can't see it. When you're in the Royal Promenade and you're at all those bars and stuff, it's just like you're in these self-contained pods, and you don't really like feel like you're on the ocean. Even when you're in Central Park, while you're outside, you don't see the ocean. You see the sky. You really have to just go up to the Lido or the top decks to see the water. The smaller class ships, like they have the walk around like deck outside that you can go all the way around the ship, the helipad. You can see the water out the portholes of like different bars and restaurants on the main promenade deck. So you definitely, it feels like a more classic cruise experience, which was awesome. And to Abed's point, capacity is much lower. It just feels a little bit more intimate. Yeah, there's like less activities and stuff to do. There are less flashy bars, less flashy venues and theaters and stuff, but we're okay with that. But all that to say, Icon and the Oasis class ships are incredible.
They're amazing. They're amazing. And not that anyone asked, but Chris and I were actually talking about this the other day. So for us, those of you that have, maybe you've only cruised Royal and not Carnival or vice versa, but comment down below if y'all agree with this statement. To us, because we've now cruised more so Carnival, but our Royal catalog is growing. To us, Carnival is for extroverts and Royal is for introverts. So not exclusively, but that's kind of how we feel. Especially the last time we sailed Jubilee, which was in August, it was really apparent, especially after coming off Utopia.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Just like the energy on the ships are different. Carnival is a big turn-up party, no matter what ship you're on. And yeah, if you're extroverted, you're going to find someone to talk to. Someone's going to find you to talk to them. It's just like in your face. Whereas Royal, I feel like your different groups that you're with kind of stick to themselves. People are obviously very nice. We've met some really great people on Royal ships.
Yeah.
But it just felt a little less chaotic than a Carnival cruise.
Independent.
It was a lot easier to find like little quiet areas of the ship to like kind of decompress. So if you're looking for like a more relaxed time, definitely Royal Caribbean. But if you're looking for like a party, turn up every day, 24/7, Carnival's the way to go. No one does it better. Totally different experiences, and you're gonna get out of it, what you put in, and
100%.
Yeah, they're just vastly different experiences.
So Chris asked Duarte, what is the QR code on the back of your laptop? Where am I? Right there. So that's actually, we passed those out. That's actually a link to our YouTube channel where you can subscribe. So we meet a lot of folks, and we always feel guilty when we don't have them. We don't have business cards. So we created the sticker with a QR code. And then when people ask us, what's your channel? We say, oh, here you go. They can use it or, whatever. Who knows what they do with it afterwards. But it was just a little clever way to kind of self-promote. I so agree with this. Sir Long Hog says, Chris is also looking amazing. Of course.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I look amazing because I'm next to him. He looks amazing, and it like bleeds over onto me.
Yeah. I know we talked about this, so we'll just say this real quick. Joe's asking, is Ozempic better than surgery? That's ultimately, it's kind of subjective. It depends on what you need. Joe, I would say, if it's something you're interested in, definitely, I would seek out some consultations. For me, like I said, I was on Ozempic, and then I went to a bariatric consultation after my primary doctor wanted me to go to my endocrinologist. And when I went to my endocrinologist, they sent me back to my primary. So I was sort of in this infinite loop of not getting the support that I needed. Again, my situation may be unique. I'm going to say probably not. But I wasn't feeling supported, even though I was asking for help in different ways. And so I saw a different me, and I went to the bariatric clinic, which, by the way, a lot of them do Ozempic. They do meal plans. It's not just surgery. And they're not pushy. They laid everything out. And they said, Abed, what do you think is going to work for you? And they talked me through it. But I would say I don't necessarily have an opinion. I've tried, obviously, both. But yeah, there's a lot of options out there. And it was hard for me to ask for help. But I definitely, it's not an easy thing to do. But, find someone maybe in your area, like I said, a professional, and that's definitely something. It's definitely personal.
Yeah, and there's pros and cons to both, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
one is a medication, one is a surgery, a major surgery. But there are like hurdles with the medication as well. Like obviously GLP-1s are like really in demand now, and I know
Yeah.
even when you were on Ozempic, and I know some folks now that are on like Wegovy, Mounjaro, and any of the other ones that are having difficulty finding it because it's so in demand. So that's a little difficult. I know it depends on insurance, whether or not it's covered, and that sort of stuff. So
Right.
yeah, I would say, echoing what Abed said, I don't necessarily think there's one that's better than the other. I think it's just like there may be one that better suits your personal scenario, and definitely talk it out with your doctor to determine which one that is.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, we've been talking about. There's just some questions here. I'd read, some folks are saying they'd rather have surgery than medication. Don't mean to gloss over, but we're just to move the conversation along. I actually found random recess from a video from OA. Love the content from both channels and how y'all support each other.
Oh,
Well, thank you very much.
thank you. So glad you found us through them. That's awesome.
Peter's just what you had said, that he's on Zepbound. Oh, random recess. Thank you, Chris. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, just asking if it's primary for diabetes. Initially it was, but they found other uses for it. So, yep. Peter answered that question. See, Joe, that's great. I support anyone trying to get healthy. Cheers to happy and healthy New Year.
Hey,
Yes.
that's exactly right.
And y'all, happy New Year. Absolutely. And I think we said this. Do what's best for you. Do what works for you. At the end of the day, it's your life. You have to, I made the decision I made because I'm a uncle for the first time. I wanted to be around for Chris. I wanted to be around for him. And it was just the best fit for me. Let's see here. There's just some side conversations. Okay. Jeff, you're here. Of course, I'm late to the party.
What's up, Jeff?
Jeff, that's okay. We scheduled it at 7 p.m. I know that's 5 p.m. on the West Coast where you're at, but our audience is so varied. We've got folks on the East Coast, Central Time, which is where we're at in Austin, Texas.
Jeff's probably at some like Napa winery.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Cheers, Jeff. Well, no, it's going to be an old fashioned.
Oh, that's true.
We know.
Yeah.
Joe says, this question is for Chris, but it also applies to Abed. But Chris, at what age did you notice how handsome you are? I mean, look how droppingly handsome you are. Question also applies to Abed.
I was today years old when you told me this comment. No, that's so flattering. I've never thought of myself as conventionally attractive or good looking. I mean, obviously, I think we both find each other handsome and good looking, and that's why we're with one another outside of our sparkling personalities. But no, like that's not something that I've ever really thought about. And let's just chalk that up to like horrible self-esteem issues in middle school and early stages of life. I think a lot of us can relate to that, but it's always fantastic to hear compliments like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe.
Always humbly grateful for kind words like that. Thank you.
And I would say the same. It's always hard to get those comments because, like Chris said, you grow up and you're self-conscious and all these things. And there's a reason why we were in the closet for 35 years, but that's a whole different video. In fact, I think we posted a video on it.
Yeah.
Not anymore. We're not going back. It's the biggest outdoor rodeo on earth, says Sir Long Hog. Yes,
Calgary
the Calgary
Stampede.
Stampede. Okay, Chris and I love a good rodeo. Y'all know we're Texas boys.
That's right.
Okay. Oh, there's a fight going on. Sir Long Hog, Joe, stay away from my hubbies. There's enough. There's enough of us to go around.
That's right.
Let's see. Joe says, "Have you guys been to H Mart in Austin? You should film there. I would love it." You know what? We have been there. We've not filmed. We've actually thought about it, especially now. Not that we just got back from Japan and that's why, but it's on our list of like places to eat, things to do in Austin.
Yeah, H Mart. If you're not familiar with what H Mart is, it's this giant Asian grocery market, and it's actually we finally got one here not too long ago, a few years back. They were big in Houston for a while, and we finally got one here in Austin, and it's amazing. It has so many cool snacks and treats and supplies that you wouldn't find in a conventional grocery store, all from like Eastern Asia. So they have like Korean stuff, Japanese stuff, Chinese stuff, Indian stuff. I think all of that. Not only do they have like a really badass grocery store and like fresh food section, fresh food section, they have fish and all of that. They have a badass food court. Like their food court has so many cool stalls. I think they even have the Japanese jiggly cheesecakes over there.
Do they?
Yeah. And they have like Korean corn dogs and all sorts of stuff. So we might have to do a little food tour over at H Mart.
Spoiler alert, we may or may not have eaten an entire cheesecake on the bullet train in Japan.
Don't judge us. Whatever.
Do not judge, please. Chris says, wait, y'all went to Japan? LOL. When do you think the first video will drop? So those of you that just joined the live, the first video will be tomorrow. It's a bonus video. Our normal day of release is Saturday. That's when our videos normally come out. But we're going to kickstart this series with an extra video. So Wednesday will be our travel day and our first initial thoughts, first night in Tokyo. And then on Saturday, regular programming day, regular release day will be our 48 hours in Osaka. Calgary rocks. You guys need to come. You know what? We're going to look into it. Okay. Yeah, I think we need to look. Y'all send us a list. Where do y'all think we should go? Rebecca says, can we get more content with Random Recess OA and Mouse Vibes partying on a cruise? The videos on Icon are some of my favorites because you guys seem to have an incredible time together. You know what? I'm going to second that. Will you third?
I'll third it. Like, let's make
go.
it, put it into the record. It's so funny because Icon of the Seas was actually like the first time
It was.
we've actually like hung out with them. Like we had met them at like the parks and stuff
Like here
and like
there.
little interactions here and there. But Icon was really the first like meeting of the minds where we all kind of like got to hang out with one another. And, you know, thankfully they weren't scared off by by us. And they're awesome people.
They really are.
They're like the best people ever, and we became friends really quickly. So, really grateful for all of them. And man, like they've just taught us so much about not only the vlogging space and YouTube, but just like helpful tips and tricks from their travels. And they've just been like the best people, like so accommodating, so welcoming. And you know, we got to go on Navigator of the Seas with them. We're always down for a cruise with those.
Always.
With those
Always.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Look, you had me at a cruise and then you bring us all together. I want to go to Vegas. I think we should do Vegas.
That would, yeah, the Patreon only Vegas, Patreon only Vegas
Yeah.
trips. Yeah.
Peter, Mouse Vibes, if y'all are in here, let's talk about it. We can talk about it offline. Sir Long Hog says, tons of good barbecue in Calgary.
Oh, interesting.
You know, we'll see about it. We're okay.
Barbecue snobs. Yeah.
We're barbecue snobs. I think that's pretty obvious. One, we're in Texas and everything's better here. Or so we say.
Well, not everything.
Not
but
everything. We know. But the barbecue.
The barbecue, yeah, we are very biased for the barbecue.
We are. But I'm open to it. I've had barbecue up north. I've had it in like the Toronto area. Calgary is different. So I'm very open. I'm going to go in with an open mind, and I love barbecue. So, question. What is sort of in Texas? There's the Holy Trinity. What is it? Sausage, ribs, and brisket.
Yep.
What, if there is such a thing, what is
Yeah,
Calgary?
what is Calgary known for?
What are you known for? In Texas, that's what you get. Pro tip. Those of you not from Texas, at a minimum, you got to get that. Jeff says Cabernet while I'm cooking. Well,
Oh,
okay.
a little Cab Sav. Nice.
Chris is asking, okay, Abed, have you done any good baking? And what do you usually bake during the holidays? You know, I baked a lot prior to our, Japan trip. And I've been baking a lot of cinnamon rolls. That's not necessarily holiday specific. Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
No, it's okay. We live
Just Gonzo honking over here.
We're just surrounded by cedar, yo. It's not the greatest, but I would say right now my plan is to make some cinnamon rolls. I found these cinnamon rolls on TikTok that are like chocolate and filled with chocolate cinnamon sugar. and like they ooze and they're oozy goozy. That's not a word. Ooey gooey.
I'm gonna start using
This is
oozy goozy.
This
though.
is water. I promise. This is not the Vegas video. But they're like ooey gooey and they kind of like pull apart. But anyway, I'm kind of obsessed with cinnamon rolls right now, so that's what I've been baking. I shouldn't be baking that or eating it. I've been just baking it. We'll eat like one, and then like I take it up to my parents' house, which they live just down the street, and so they're enjoying all of that. That chat seemed parched because there's some thirsty comments in the chat. You know what? Hey, you're not wrong. There is a drought. There's a drought. We love a good thirsty comment. Normally it's coming from me. Chris always says that I'm the flirt, but
Yeah, he is.
BT, regrets I'm late to the live chat. I love your Vegas content. Honest thoughts on why you think the Fontainebleau is a ghost town. You know, Fontainebleau, I think we struck a nerve with that video.
We really did,
Because
honestly.
the comment section just really blew up. And so the premise of that video is, where has everyone gone? We're investigating the Fontainebleau and why everyone's avoiding it. We even have this like cute little intro and this theme throughout of us, quote, investigating. But to BT's question, why we think it's a ghost town, it's a combination of a lot of things that we mentioned in the video. I think just being so far north, so far away from Center Strip, which most people that go to Vegas, especially for the first time, want to experience iconic Vegas, whether it's downtown or they want to be in as close to the Bellagio, Paris, Planet Hollywood, like all the sort of clubby party areas, that the north side of the Strip is kind of missing that. It doesn't help that Circus is like right across and it's lots of fun. Resorts World is coming up, but it's also struggling. The Wynn is not. The Wynn is kind of a outlier in that, but I think it has to do with a little of everything.
Yeah, and the price too. It's not cheap to stay there. It's they're marketing themselves as a higher end resort. They want to be competing with the big dogs like the Wynn and the Encore. Resorts World up there is also pricey, Venetian Palazzo. So they want to stay in that price point and that clientele, and that drives a lot of people away. Like they look and they see, like, I don't want to pay $500 a night for a room, especially when all the activities that I want to do, I'm going to have to take an Uber down to Center Strip. Like you can't really walk there. It's not convenient. So I think location, price, and who knows? I think it's starting to come up as a convention hotel. It's really close to the convention center. I know they're going to expand Fontainebleau to include like a larger conference area and maybe like a few attractions even. I think they're going to put in a big tower drop ride, which actually will be kind of cool, but we'll see. I think for us, because we do game, we've earned like a lot of comps there, and we're able to kind of stay there for either free, we get comped rooms, or really, really cheap rooms at really good rates. So that's why we tend to stay there. But if you don't gamble, I could see why there's not really a desire to stay that far north.
There's no iconic piece, right? When you think of the Bellagio, you think of Las Vegas, right? There used to be the volcano at the Mirage, rest in peace. But there's really not an icon over there. And there's a lot of empty space. Now, around the holidays, we were just there. They have filled it with trees and all these ornaments.
And they put a skating rink over the pools. Like, that's really cool. So, like, them and the Cosmopolitan both have, like, ice skating rinks and, like, marshmallow roasting and all sorts of cool stuff.
They just need to, I think, after the holidays, bring in another art piece and exhibit. Like, really fill that space. Because people were there taking photos. Like, that's what people want. You go to the Bellagio, you've got the conservatory.
Yep.
It's just... those are destinations, whereas we go to Fontainebleau, like Chris said, we do get comped there through our gameplay, not social media or anything. And as content creators, it helps reduce the cost of the video when, obviously
you don't have to pay for your room
until you lose at the slot machine.
But then that pays for another room in the future, right?
Sort of. It's
a cycle.
You're really just
paying. You're paying in advance.
You're just paying in. But anyway, yeah. All those reasons and above. Hope you all like that video. It was a lot of fun. We were trying some new things there. Joe says, I know I have a light demeanor, but seriously, you guys are awesome. My girlfriend and I love watching your videos. You guys rock.
Thanks, Joe. You rock. And your girlfriend.
Thank you so much. That means so much to us. We started this, like we've said this earlier, like these are our souvenirs. They're our memories. And the fact that anyone watches them and engages, that just means the world to us. So thank you. Mr. Long says Big T's Barbecue voted best in the city, and Rib Fest happens every Rib Fest.
Oh, okay, you had me at Rib Fest. Anywhere that's called Rib Fest,
I'm in.
I'm in. I'm gonna look it up.
Alberta beef is world renowned. Probably the biggest thing we have to offer. All right.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Man, are people sleeping on Canadian barbecue? I can see the thumbnail.
Especially with a big beef rib.
Yeah.
Oh, beef ribs are so amazing. Joe says, if you're into Asian food, Vegas recently has a blossoming Asian food scene along Spring Mountain Road. Well worth a short trip off strip. Okay, we'll come back and
Spring Mountain Road.
I'm gonna take a screenshot.
I've definitely been looking into places in their Chinatown too. Vegas has an awesome Chinatown that like people really sleep on, and I know a lot of locals like praise it. And there's a lot of local spots over in Chinatown too, so we'll have to check that out.
Oh yeah. Peter says, I love the bed sneaking around with his investigations gear. That's in the Fountain Blue video. Yeah,
I know.
That was fun. And we weren't like totally embarrassed filming that. As we're in the hallway.
Listen, nobody's there anyway. It didn't matter. Like,
well, yeah, that's true. I mean, well, there was some like housekeeping, but anyway, they just kind of laughed at us. But Chris would go, not action, we're not directors, but he'd be like, okay, you're on. And I pop my head out, and then it wasn't right, so we'd have to do it a little higher. Anyway.
Yeah, I can't tell me how many times he had to like tiptoe past the camera to get it just
now
right.
Let's just get the leg.
Right, yeah.
You want to get the angles.
You got to get the shots.
You got to get the shots. Jeff, I'm hoping Fountain Blue remains chill. It just joined American Express FHR. I think that's
Fine Hotels and
Resorts program, and I'm going in April. Love to win, but it's becoming the new Cosmo. You're not wrong, Joe. You're not wrong, Jeff.
It's so busy.
It is so busy at the Wynn. We love the Wynn, but we call it a food desert because it's hard to get. One, there's no food hall or court. It's hard to get just something that's grab and go.
That's not fine dining.
That's not fine dining. And sometimes I don't want the big production. I don't need the theatrics. I just want like something to eat. Now they have little cafes. It's pricey. The food is just mid. But
it's just become like a big social media hotspot too. And like, yeah, agreed. It's kind of becoming the new Cosmo. But also, Jeff, love the subtle flex of the MX in the comment. Yeah.
Hey, why not?
Don't think we didn't catch that.
Why not? But I will say this. Cosmo has Block 16.
Oh, that food court is awesome. Yeah,
it's really good. Leaving for Vegas this Saturday, says Slow On. Okay. Leaving for Vegas this Saturday, staying at the Paris, and your latest video helped a ton.
Oh, awesome. That's so cool. We, like Yvette said, we're always like so floored and humbled when people are like, we watched your stuff. And then when they take recommendations from our videos, it blows my mind even more. I'm like, someone listened to our recommendation and is following it. But hopefully we helped out with the Paris stay. We hope you really enjoy it. We love the Paris. Like it
was amazing.
It's a vastly underrated hotel.
The
food is great and the perfect location. The location is just like chef's kiss.
And Chris mentioned this earlier, but if y'all are new to the stream tonight or the live, Dominique Ansel, those of y'all know our Vegas content. Every time we're in Vegas, Chris is annoyed by this sometimes. I have to go to Dominique Ansel and I have to get a cronut. Each month, Dominique Ansel, he's the inventor of the cronut, if you're not aware. He invented it. Other people try to make it and they fall short, I promise you.
Yeah.
As someone who has sweet teeth, I can assure you of that. But each month in Vegas, and then he has a Soho location in New York, the original, they have different flavors each month. So if you're in Vegas, if you can go to both, you can try 2 different flavors each month. But anyway, each month there's a new flavor. Now it is very flavor dependent. Sometimes it's not good, but I say that because at Paris, it just opened. If y'all follow us on Instagram, you know, because we were there, I posted about it. And this month's flavor, Slow On, you're going to love it. If you love chocolate, was it? I think it was chocolate. Yeah.
Pain au chocolat.
Oh, yeah, it was pain au chocolat. So he took the flavors of pain au chocolat or chocolate croissant and infused it beautifully into the cronut. It is so good. And that location is bigger than the one at Caesar's Palace. They do like a bigger lunch service. They got rotisserie chickens. It's chef's kiss. I loved Fountain Blue. Nobody was there, and the drink service was great, and we were very low gamblers. Yeah, they will come around a lot.
There's nobody else.
There's nobody there. Now, I will say this. Chris and I, during our little pit stop in Vegas, so after Japan, we slowly returned to Texas. on our way back east, and we stopped in Vegas and we stayed at Fontainebleau. But it was during the rodeo convention or rodeo,
No, it's like the big giant rodeo. That's
the big
going
giant
on.
rodeo, yeah. And so it was busier than I was expecting, but yeah.
Full of cowboys. That's the most cowboy hats I've ever seen in Vegas. I felt right at home.
Right? Joe says, "Yeah, Vegas Chinatown is a 4-mile strip along Spring Mountain Road." Okay, we will be visiting. Chris says, "Abed, are there any more stops on your revenge tour?" I think sort of. For the most part, I really have taken on most of the things that I wanted to do. I would say I'll probably do Flow Rider. If y'all watched our Navigator of the Seas, that's probably the most recent sort of check off my revenge list. And just for those that don't know, we did a whole video where I went on my revenge tour on the rides and experiences that I was unfortunately just too big to do. So I was at Universal Hollywood and at Disneyland, and there were some rides that I couldn't do because I just didn't fit. And so that's kind of sort of a theme as I go on. I call them non-scale victories. I didn't invent that term, but as a non-scale victory, they're important because sometimes the scale is really rude. You do everything right, and suddenly you're up a few pounds. Anyway, it's just water. But to your question, Chris, for me, I would say getting back on the ice, like I'm some sort of ice hockey player.
Ice princess.
Right? Definitely an ice princess. But being able to get back on the ice, which was something I used to skate a lot, both I would blade, rollerblade, and I would ice skate.
I would blade.
Go bladed. But not being able to do that for so long because I was just too top heavy. It hurt. On Navigator of the Sea, if you watch that video, you'll see that that's the most recent sort of revenge item checked off. But I would say Flow Rider maybe can count. I never really did it before, but I think that maybe we're coming towards the end of the list, I would say.
Are there any Disney rides?
I would say, Flight of Passage, I finally rode that. That was last year, towards the end of last year, or this year. My year is all
right.
But Flight of Passage was the biggest one that I really wanted to do because I'm a huge Avatar fan. But no, I think I've ridden everything that...
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's true. Okay. That's right. So at Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World, I've never wasn't able to, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So what you're saying, Chris, is you're going to book a trip.
The Grand Flow. You're going to book the Grand Floridian.
So y'all heard it here live. Right? Thumbs up the slide.
That's right.
Tell Chris, take a bed.
To ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
You want to see it. They want to see it.
They want to see it. You got to stay at the Grand Floridian. Yeah,
They want to see it. Slow Own. You did. Made a reservation for Vanderpump. Don't watch the show, but I think my wife and I will love the cocktails. Yes. Okay. Yeah, if you saw our video, we've covered Vanderpump Au Paris, and we covered...
How many times?
Yeah. Apologize for those. Those were early days.
No, don't apologize.
But we also covered Vanderpump Garden in more detail during our Caesar's Palace review. But this was a fun video where we just hit all 3 locations. Admittedly, we don't really watch the show either, but the cocktails are just so good.
Yeah. You don't have to watch the show to enjoy the cocktail lounge or the restaurant. The service is awesome. The theming is so good in there. The ambiance is incredible. And it's a cool place to be seen and enjoy the drinks and get some food. Few recommendations. Obviously, if you watched our video, you know that the baguette with the brie cheese,
The baguette.
so good. Also, I don't know if we filmed. I think we filmed it in one of our earlier videos, but they have a charcuterie that comes in a bird cage.
Yeah.
And the presentation is just like wild, but the charcuterie is really good. So if you like over the top presentations, that is definitely one to get.
Instagrammable. Everything about the menu is just so cute.
Yeah.
I will say this, when it comes to like their entrees, just share.
Yeah.
Get
a couple and you can
get a couple like appetizers and stuff. Like honestly, you'll be full just because you're also drinking and stuff. But I don't know that it's a great restaurant. They have a few items that are good. It's like
I feel like for Vanderpump Au Paris, it's more of a restaurant than the other 2. I feel like
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Definitely more than Garden, and I would say I would agree with that. Plus, so moody in there.
So moody. I love it.
BT, bravo on the Nelly's review at MGM Grand. You guys had my wife and I rolling with laughter. Laughed even harder with the Vanderpump reviews. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We actually loved going to Nelly's. Like, what a hidden gem inside the MGM Grand.
So good.
Shout out Joe Bros. We love you guys.
That's right. Yeah. So Nelly's is actually owned by the Jonas family. And so we were staying at MGM Grand when we were filming the big resort review there. And we have these things where we call them R4s because we love alliteration on Random Recess. So we've got Random Recess resort reviews and Random Recess restaurant reviews, where it's sort of just like, that's all you're getting. And we were like, well, let's film an extra video. What about a restaurant review? And we walked by, we saw the menu, and we did some research. We were like, sold. This is going to be awesome. Let's go. And it did not disappoint.
It was really good. The food was amazing.
Yeah.
And the service was awesome too.
But yeah, I think, speaking of thirsting, you were thirsting over Nick.
Okay, Nick and Joe. Who doesn't thirst over those two?
Well,
And, shout out Kevin and Frankie too.
the whole thing. Chris says, I've never had a desire to go to Vanderpump until your latest video and will totally make a stop there next time. Thanks to your recommendation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I get it. It's, we even got a comment, on Facebook saying that, oh, it's, it's not meant for dudes. And we're like, you know what? It's really nice in there. The cocktails are really good, but you can get an old fashioned. They have a full bar and there are mixologists back there. So it's not like you have to get the one with the cotton candy, but you can get a really great smoky old fashioned if that's your thing. It's more than just that. Plus, take your date there. It's really nice.
It's a legit date spot for sure.
It's so nice. It can be romantic. There's, of course, it's a great cocktail lounge. Slow on. I will have to try that then. I've never had it before. I think Nelly's. Yeah, Nelly's is really good. Or
the Birdcage, or who knows?
Yeah,
that could be about a lot of things.
I think actually Paris is doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
got it.
Oh yeah. If you've never had a cronut, highly recommend. So he makes two different things. He makes the cronut. Well, he makes a lot of things. But he also invented a few things, including the cookie shot. So it's literally a chocolate chip cookie, and they put like this vanilla cream inside. So you take the shot and you eat the cookie. He also has made the DKAs, which are essentially like these.
They're Queen-A-Mons.
Queen-A-Mons, but his version of a Queen-A-Mon, which is like, I would describe it as a croissant muffin with much crispier texture and sugar on top.
Good. Don't sleep on those. Those are so good.
So the debate is, are you team DKA or Queen-A-Mon or Cronut? I'm team Cronut when the flavor of the month is perfect. If not, give me the DKA. And I'm still upset. We were in line, yo. We were in line.
We never got our free
sample. We were pretending like we'd never tried it before. So the manager is going around, and there was a bit of a line, but honestly, it moved. And he was walking around with pieces of the Queen-A-Mon, the DKAs. And he was explaining what it was, because not a lot of people have heard of Dominique and stuff. And it's a brand new location. And he gets to us, and he's like, oh, I'll be right back. I'm out. He never came back. Dang. Put it on Yelp.
Put it on Yelp.
Put it on Yelp. Put it on Yelp. Slow on. I'd like to grab an espresso martini from there. Me too.
We're always down for an espresso martini. Anywhere.
And Slow on is saying, yeah, it was the Corona. I will say this. So the premise of our video of Vanderpump was we could not order what we wanted. We asked the server to recommend their favorite. Whatever that favorite was, minus dietary restrictions, like I can't do anything carbonated, that's what we would get. So I would have loved a martini. Well, I did get a martini, but I would have loved a espresso martini. But hey, I will say their selections were great.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
All right, y'all. We're getting close to that 2-hour mark, so we'll probably wind down a bit.
Crazy.
Excuse me.
Time flies when you're just chit-chatting with amigos and amigas.
We're here with family and friends and both. We just want to say thank you. Those of you that joined this live, it means the world to us. We never expect anyone to come in. I don't know why, but we really appreciate each and every one of you. Those of you that are subscribed, thank you. If you're not, hit the subscribe button. It's free. It helps us out. We're a small channel, but we're chugging along. And we just want to say thank you. And like we always say, just live your life one recess at a time.
Yeah, and we look forward to chatting with you more. Hopefully we can do lives a little bit more often. Like, we're just so bad at scheduling them. Like, we get busy with live stuff, and then we're like, we haven't gone live in like 3 months. So hopefully we'll get on here a little bit more regularly, because like I said, it's fun to just chat with you guys. And Yeah, we're always blown away by people even showing up to these things. So thank you so much.
Good night.
Bye, guys.